Hello and welcome to the Art of Artisan. Today we are playing a rather fun deck, a control deck, which is not my usual thing, called Izzet Fling. The deck is built around this combo of cards: Serpentine Curve, which creates an XX creature, where X is the number of instants and sorceries we own in our graveyard, and Kazul's Fury, which we can use to pretty much throw that giant creature at our opponent's face. So the goal for this deck is to get 20 cards in our graveyard, make a 20/20 creature, and then throw it at our opponent's face. One card that makes this a lot easier, though, is Dual Strike, which we are usually going to use with Kazul's Fury. On Kazul's Fury, you may notice that it says it's a cost to cast the spell to sacrifice the creature, which means we can make one 10/10 creature and then use Dual Strike to fling that creature twice at our opponent's face for the 20 damage. So there's a couple ways we could go about this. One way that I considered going about this was filling our graveyard as quickly as possible with things like Unexpected Windfall, Into the Night, or if you want to play non-artisan, you can do Change of Fortune. That'd be a really fun card to try and play with this. But I decided I was going to go control. So one half of our control deck is handling creatures. We've got a bunch of burn in this deck. Crush the Weak being especially important as a card we can use to sweep the board if our opponent's going wide. But we also need a way to handle decks that aren't trying to win with creatures. So we have some counter spells in our deck. Not a ton. If we're in best of 3, we'd have quite a bit of counter magic in our sideboard, but we have something to handle control matchups as well. And then, because we're trying to control the game, we need to have more cards than our opponent. We're trading 1 for 1 with almost all of our cards. So Expressive Iteration, Behold the Multiverse, they can really help us get ahead on cards. And something nice about Behold the Multiverse is we can dual strike it. We do that fairly often. And then Consider is a great instant to just filter our draws. Make sure that against control we're drawing counters. Against creature decks we can dig for that, for Crush the Weak or whatever we need. As far as lands go, you may notice we only have 20 lands in the deck, which, and they need to be snow lands largely so that we can get Frostbite to work. But the reason we have so few lands is we actually have these 9 MDFCs that can double as lands. So that's the deck, and let's see how it does. I built this deck originally like a long time ago and did a tiny bit to update it, but it's relatively unchanged, and I'm interested to see how it does. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the games. Alrighty, game 1. Playing against DPM. It's weird, my avatar has gotten a lot smaller than it used to be. Used to be much bigger. Okay, this is a fairly good hand. We can use Consider to dig. We've got Behold the Multiverse, and if our opponent's super aggressive, we've got some removal, so we'll keep this. We'll just lead with an island, see what our opponent's doing, and consider our options. Alright. Ooh, Silver Raven. I do not know what our opponent's doing, but it's probably ninjas. Which means this next turn they're probably going to play Moon Circuit Hacker. At least that'd be my guess. We want a mountain to be able... Perfect. Alrighty. Now pretty much anything they ninjutsu in, we should be able to just frostbite it. So we're going to let our opponent get in, and if they don't ninjutsu anything, we won't do anything, but if they do, we are definitely going to kill it. Oh, okay. They've got nothing. Another Silver Raven, alright. I guess we'll just get rid of that then. Actually, we're going to wait. We don't want our opponent to know anything. Let them scry first. Good general rule of Magic. Wait until the last possible moment to do everything that you want to. Alrighty. Our turn. I'm going to leave up Frostbite. We did get our Kazul's Fury. Only got 1 spell in the graveyard. We'll foretell this, leave up Frostbite, and pass the turn. Okay, they're definitely ninjas. There's no way they're not ninjas. Come on. No, okay, they're not going to try and... Okay, they're going to Kaito. And we're going to have to just kill Kaito right off the bat. No, we're not going to. He's at 4 now. Okay. There's nothing we can really do about that. Kaito phases out. Okay, that's a good card. I'm just going to hope that we hit red mana. And we do not. Okay. We'll put Serpentine Curve into our hand. We're going to want that eventually. Frostbite we'll probably want in our deck. Dry Disruption. And I think we just play Dry Disruption as a land. Yeah. Our opponent's playing a very tempo-y deck, so we want to make sure we have good card advantage, so we don't want to waste any cards. And now they're finally dropping a Ninja. And it's Biting Palm Ninja. I was hoping they'd do that last turn. And our opponent now knows what we're doing. Xul's Fury, Serpentine Curve. Probably going to just get rid of Frostbite. That seems like the reasonable choice here. Unless they just are worried about us making a blocker with Serpentine Curve, but they've probably got all sorts of answers to it. Free card draw. Yeah, this is a good Planeswalker, it looks like. Alrighty. There's Frostbite. Let's go. So we'll just... do we need to play... No, we don't need any more mana this turn. I don't think. So we'll just do this. And we will pass the turn. The ultimate's at 7. Okay, we'll let them get in. If they try to put in any ninjas, if they drop another Biting Palm, I will destroy it in an instant. That one won't work as well for me. That's got 4 toughness. So I guess we just remove Biting Palm Ninja. Or actually, let's do this. If I play this... Okay, the opponent didn't take priority at any point there, so I know they don't have any sort of ninja in hand to switch again. So I'm just gonna get rid of Biting Palm right now. They get to put their Silver Raven back into play. I do like that little synergy. That's one we can use in our Artisan decks. Ooh, that's not what I was expecting. Dry Disruption's not very good, because Ninjutsu technically isn't a spell. So we don't get to actually stop much with that. At this point, we're actually fairly close to the win with Serpentine Curve. We do need more mana, and we need a dual strike. Ooh, that's good. That's really good. I think we just fire that off now. We don't want that Black Staff doing anything. So yeah, we just fire this off. Our opponent has no mana to counter it. They can turn their Covert Tactician into a 4/4. So yeah, Black Staff turns something into a 4/4. Which I think they're going to do. No? Okay. They're just trying to drop artifacts into play. Oh, that's bad. There goes half our combo. I should have realized they could... Well, I didn't know they had another one in hand. And Kaito gets to ultimate. Search your library for a blue or black creature card. Eek. Yeah, we need an answer to Kaito more than anything right now. I do like this build, though. Artifact Ninjas. Oh, sweet, we drew the other half. We're just going to do this main phase while our opponent's tapped out. Expressive Iteration should find us another land, so I'm going to dump the land to the bottom. 2 Expressive Iterations, all right. Give us like a Frostbite, or even a Spike. Ooh, Demon Bolt. Creature or Planeswalker. Okay, that's perfect. We'll put this into our hand. We will put this into the library. We've already got one. Exile this. Play it. And we're just going to fire this off before anything bad happens. If we let our opponent get priority, they will ultimate Kaido. I'm a little scared of what that might mean for us. We're coming close to just doing this without a dual strike. Biting Palm. That's annoying. It took the curve. Okay. That's... and they're going to take the Fury. Okay, I do not know how we get out of this one. Our opponent's just getting way too many cards with this Kaido and the Bank Buster. Yeah, this is not a good matchup for us. Sure, we'll take Saw It Coming. And we'll play a Prismari Campus. Oops, wrong way to do that. Yeah, I goofed that up pretty bad. And they have lethal on board. We lose the game. All right. Game 1 is a loss for us. Well played, DPM. Very interesting deck. I actually really like their deck, so I'm not too mad that we lost. But on to game 2. Art of Artisan, game number 2. Playing Izzet Fling versus Tavros. This hand actually could be good. I actually think we keep this hand. It's a little weird to have the multiple Jwari disruptions, but if they line up right, they might actually be game-winning. We'll just play a Campus for now. I don't think we need to hold up Frostbite for turn 1. Our opponent's looking like they're playing some sort of budget deck. Okay, we can Frostbite that eventually. There's our curve. And now we're just going to pass. If our opponent plays a creature, we can Frostbite it and consider. If they play something expensive, we can just Jwari it. We definitely want to Jwari that. Alrighty. That was a really good save. Now, I think we start progressing our game plan. We're going to foretell this. Potentially Frostbite whatever comes into play this turn. Ooh, we don't actually have 3 snow lands, so this only deals 2 damage. Maybe shouldn't have done that. But we'll just let them get in for 2 if that's all they're doing. Okay, that's a card I wish we could Jwari Disrupt. We can kill it with Frostbite next turn, so I think we just consider this turn. Yeah, that's a scary card in a lot of matchups, but luckily we have Frostbite right now. Although it is now starting the day-night cycle, we will want that eventually, I get the feeling. Yeah, the day-night cycle gets a little bit scary in this matchup. Yeah, let's just fire off Frostbite. If they play something really scary, we can just Demon Bolt it. But I'm planning this turn to just Behold the Multiverse on the opponent's turn. And we'll pass. Or if they play something that costs exactly how much mana they currently have, we will happily Jwari Disrupt it. Okay. I think we can let that all go and we'll just dig for a Crush the Weak. Crush the Weak would sweep their entire board. So let's get a Crush the Weak. That's not a Crush the Weak. And that's not a Crush the Weak. Give it to us, deck. Saw it coming. Okay, we drew both our Saw It Comings. So we'll just consider Crush the Weak off the top. I guess we'll take that. But we're not going to play it this turn. We will just foretell Saw It Coming. It won't flip today. We've got Jwari Disruption and Saw It coming up. This should be okay. We are taking 6, which is a lot. But if we can just dig into Crush the Weak, we've got them. Crush the Weak. Okay, the opponent's flipping it tonight of their own will. I think we may be able to turn it back today, though, which should be really tough for our opponent here. We'll take another Demon Bolt. We'll stick Island into the library. We'll exile a mountain. And we have to really play something else right now. We could just drop a Serpentine Curve into play, but I think we're going to want that for when we win the game. Frenzied Trap Breaker. Yeah, okay, they can't sacrifice it to do anything useful, so we're just going to nuke one of their Trap Breakers. If they Snakeskin Veil here, I think we lose the game. Okay, we're good. I think the only thing they had up was sacrificing one to kill their own Etchings of Kumano, which we would have been very happy if they did that. Okay, Pack Leader, that's another dangerous threat. Give us... Come on, give us our Crush of the Week. We win the game probably if we draw Crush of the Week. And it's a negate. And I think that means we lose the game. Wow, that's a fast double loss to start off this deck. Yeah, we can Demon Bolt and then put up Serpentine Curve as a blocker, but that's not going to be enough this game. The 9/9, that's pretty cool. But we lose. Eek. I was thinking this deck was going to do pretty well. I mean, we have besides Divide by Zero and Alrund's Epiphany, this is actually really close to a tier deck. And I guess we don't have Burn Down the House either, but we're playing pretty close to a tier deck with our win condition just being slightly different. So I would expect this to do fairly well, but we've run into two opponents who have just been able to go under what we're doing. Oh well. On to game number 3. Alrighty, game number 3 with Izzet Fling against Milef. Milef? I don't know. This is actually really good, except we don't have red mana. I think we have to mulligan it. Yeah, we have to mulligan it. Expressive Iteration is so good, but if we don't have the mana to cast it, we're in trouble. Alright, this is keepable. Not super exciting hand. I'm actually just going to dump Serpentine Curve. We're going to try and control really hard until we draw into another one. Dry Disruption. Play it as land. Our opponent, let's see what they're playing. Green. Something green, which is probably something bad. Negate could hit Ranger's class if they play it this next turn, so I think we just hold that up instead of foretelling something. And then if their opponent doesn't play something to negate, we just consider. Oh, it's Selesnya. Selesnya mid-range. Or maybe Naya. We'll see. Or maybe really annoying Runes. Okay, I don't think we really want that. Xul's Fury, not helpful. Not a land. Alright, we're going to dig for something with this Consider. We're not going to dig for Consider with Consider. Still not a land. And this is actually one of our worst matchups when I did a quick retesting of the deck. Playing against these endless runes decks, it's really not good because this keeps coming back from the graveyard and we're not drawing lands. Okay. We will just Demon Bolt at the start of our opponent's turn. I think that's the correct call here. But I'm really not liking where we're at. Our lack of lands is not great. We've already played 2 of our MDFCs. Alright, they're just going to attack. I don't see why this is a tough choice for them. Sitting there thinking about whether to attack when I have no blockers or not. Now they're thinking about what to do. They have like there's no way they have like a ninja or something, right? Well, what's going on, opponent? Okay, I passed the blockers. Sure, I'll Demon Bolt. I'll bite. I'll go for the Kami. Snakeskin Veil? Bet you they've got Snakeskin Veil. They've just been playing super weird. Okay. No, we're actually good. Now we just need to not let them ever get an enchantment into the graveyard, or else this comes back. Okay, that's a land. Not the best land we could have drawn. We've only got one Kazul's Fury left in the deck. And our opponent's a deck that's really hard to keep back. Oh man. This is not looking good at all. And our opponent's getting card draw going, so they may just start outpacing us at this point. Okay, Crush the Weak. Demon Bolt is okay. Expressive Iteration's okay. I guess we keep both. Yeah, we keep both in this case. Got card draw for days. Alright. Oh, whoa, game. Why did you tap both my red lands for that? I needed this Demon Bolt. No! Oh, no. If our opponent pops off because we can't kill something this turn... Oh! Hallowed Haunting. Alright, we couldn't have stopped that anyways. And that's the point of the game where we lose. We cannot beat a Hallowed Haunting with anything. That is an Artisan deck destroyer. I guess we'll take Dwari Disruption, put Spike Field into the library, play Snow-Covered Mountain. It's our land for the turn. I'm angry at our deck for doing that to us. Alright. And do we just bolt the Naturalist so they can't... No, I think we save up Negate in case they've got like another Hallowed Haunting. That would be bad. Our opponent's got 9 cards in hand. We're doing a great job of controlling, keeping them under... keeping them away from doing stuff. Okay, I'm so glad we have this Dwari Disruption. Alright, at least they don't get double Hallowed Haunting. But they do have a really good clock on us. Oh, sweet. That's good. That's super good. Okay, so we crush the weak. Yeah, let's just crush the weak right off the bat. Wipe their board. And it's all exiled, so they don't get Kami back. Exile is so important if you're playing a control deck nowadays. And our opponent can't do anything super big. Do we dual strike Foretell? And I think the answer is no. Okay. We're just going to be ready to remove anything that they play this turn. Although our opponent's 9 cards in hand again. Hallowed Haunting. If they play another Hallowed Haunting, we've got a negate, which is really nice. And it's a Jukai Naturalist. Okay. That's one of the worst things they could play. Alright. Nothing going on here. We will behold the multiverse. And we hit. If our opponent will ever let us use... Okay. Serpentine Curve. Snow-covered island. Sadly, our opponent has gained so much life that our Fling combo probably won't win out of nowhere. I think we actually bottom both. We need to just keep controlling until we have so many lands in our graveyard that we can just... Or do we keep Serpentine Curve just to make a creature? Actually, I think we do that, yeah. Alright, we're going to make a little baby snake. And just to get more stuff in our graveyard and control the board, goodbye Naturalist. What does this say? At the beginning of each end step, if it was put into the graveyard from the battlefield. Yeah, so if we kill on the end step, the Kami will never come back. That's kind of a fun shenanigan we can do. Okay, they're going to get back. Can we afford 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Okay, I'm taking a risky line here. But we know the bottom lot of our cards. 3 cards, okay. We can dig super deep with Behold the Multiverse and Dual Strike. And then if we set stuff up right, we can throw 15 damage at our opponent's face twice. But they're going to gain life off Sigarda's Splendor. Okay, so I don't think we can actually do what I'm hoping to do. I think we're just going to foretell this. And foretell this. I think we're going to Dual Strike Behold on our opponent's turn. But we'll see what they do. We might just need to negate. They are going to have some annoying threats. Ooh. Or what we may end up having to do is just Behold and the next turn make 3 Serpentine Curves. That could be an okay play. But we'll see. Do we need to negate? Oh, Cave. I forgot about Cave. It's a 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage to us. Okay, that's a problem. Alright, we're down to 1 life. And we have to be able to block all of this. Have an answer for Cave. Yep. Fire away, opponent. Okay, 1 life left. Can we pull this off somehow? Behold the Multiverse. Dual Striked. That's another Serpentine Curve. But I think we can only play 1 this turn. So we're going to dump it to the bottom. Draw 2. Okay, that's not great. Expressive Iteration could find us something good. I think we keep Expressive Iteration. Ooh, no, we shouldn't have. Okay, Expressive Iteration. Dual Strike. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's kind of a useless card right now. Island into the library. Exile the mountain. Okay, is there any chance of us surviving this turn? If we play Serpentine Curve, we get a singular blocker. That's not going to do anything. One possible thing we can do, if our opponent, okay, we could do Dual Strike, Frostbite. If our opponent doesn't play just bring up Cave of the Frost Dragon. That's like our only hope of surviving another turn. Or if we Expressive Iteration, we could hit nothing relevant. Wait. If we Expressive Iteration and then hit Crush the Weak, could we do anything? No. Alright. So our only hope is that our opponent tries to do something besides just firing up Cave of the Frost Dragon. Will this card negate? Let our opponent know they're safe to play something. Try and bait them here. Please don't fire up the cave. If they fire up the cave, we lose. Just play some spells. You love playing spells. Yes! Okay, there's a chance we win this. Tiny chance. Very tiny chance. But we can now triple Frostbite. Actually, I think we only need to double. That's good. Okay, so we'll Dual Strike. Frostbite. I'm scared of what our opponent's got going on. Oh, Cave of the Frost Dragon? Yeah, they could turn on Cave of the Frost Dragon, but it would do nothing right now. Frostbite. Targeting Jakai Naturalist. And targeting their spirit. I maybe should have tripled on this just to clear the board, but I really want the dual strike because if we draw the right thing, if we draw Kazul's Fury, we win. I think we can even Expressive Iteration into Kazul's Fury and win. We've got so many lands now. Opponent? Passing? Yes! Okay. We survive another turn. 1 life. Okay, nothing we can do. Our turn. Opponent has to discard to hand size. We're doing it. Oh my goodness, we drew it. We drew it. Oh, we're gonna win this. We have enough lands? Yes, we've got it. Okay. Now this is a quick tip to make sure your opponent can't do anything to interact. Is we play Serpentine Curve first, and then while it's on the stack, we cast Dual Strike. This gets Dual Strike in our graveyard, which makes Serpentine Curve slightly bigger, and it means we can play Kazul's Fury before our opponent gets priority to do anything. Because if we play Dual Strike after Serpentine Curve already made a token, our opponent could kill the token before Dual Strike resolves. But this does it. We will submit 1. We will pay for it. Turn off full control. We will sacrifice this. And we will throw 2 copies of our Serpentine Curve at your face. That is 38 damage. And that is good game, opponent. Wow, we did a great job that game of playing to our outs. Planning. The only way we survived was them not activating Cave of the Frost Dragon that turn. And they were so scared of our open mana that I think they just backed out from doing it. Wowzer, that was a fantastic game. On to game 4. Woo! I am a little bit shaky after that last game. Oh, we were at 1 life for way too long for comfort. But we pulled it off, controlling them out of the game. Okay. This is a hand that wins very potentially quickly. Double Dual Strike Kazul's Fury. But we have no control in our hand, so I don't think we can keep it. As much as I'd love to, just for a 7-power Serpentine Curve, throw it at the opponent. Yeah, we can't do that. Mulligan. Oh, sweet. This is a great hand. We have enough lands that I think we just dump Jwari here. Is Jwari better than Negate? Actually, it might be. Because if we're against an aggressive deck, we're really going to need a counter early. So we'll call that good. Our opponent choosing their mulligan. Okay. Ooh, I should have led with this so that we can get Frostbite online as early as possible. I don't think we're going to get punished for that, but... Alright. Jwari Disruption, ready to go. What's the opponent got? Alright, there's some sort of Golgari deck. Probably 3-color if they're using the World Tree. Another Expressive Iteration is great. Put Crush the Weak. Yeah, I think we take Crush the Weak. Especially where they're black. We may want more stuff getting rid of their graveyard. And we'll play Jwari Disruption as a land. Once again, I think we're playing a opponent where we really need to use every card efficiently. Okay, we're just going to expressively iterate again. Keep digging through our deck. Demon Bolt is a great card. Frostbite, I don't think we need. We're actually pretty far away from a turned on Frostbite anyways. Okay, we don't get a counter this turn. Abzan colors. Restoration of Igonjo. We do have a Demon Bolt for when that flips, but that is ramp for our opponent. I think we just spend this next turn foretelling a bunch of things. Seems like the right choice. Actually, I think we only foretell one thing to hold up Jwari Disruption. So yeah, let's just foretell Behold the Multiverse. let our opponent do whatever they want here. And if we need to Jwari Disruption, we can do that. They're getting their ramp on. Let's hope that they just try and play something big. 4 mana. Old Rusting. Sadly, we cannot counter that. Another Restoration. Is this... Let me discard a card. Is this like an Abzan Reanimator deck? They're playing a lot of stuff to get stuff in their graveyard. I'm a little scared they're going to try and do some sort of like Toxrill shenanigans. It does look like what it's our opponent's doing. Okay. Yes, another Behold. That's great. And an Expressive Iteration. We'll just fire that off. Expressive Iteration is almost too powerful of a card. It's so good. I think we put Dual Strike into hand. How many cards are in our graveyard? Only 3? Yeah, we're going to grab Dual Strike. It's such a good card. We're actually going to put Island into the library and just cast a Consider right off here. We have the mana to do this. And then Consider. We're going to be discarding to hand size here. But I'm okay with that because we do just want to get lots of instants in our graveyard. Sweet, there's our Serpentine Curve. And I don't think we discard too many to hand size though. So we'll do that. And pass. I don't think we need Crush the Weak this matchup. That may be the wrong call, but if we do need to sweep the board, we can always just Dual Strike Demon Bolt a few times. Askwood Nexus. Okay, our opponent's doing something real spicy. I don't know what they're doing, but whatever it is, I'm liking it. Any deck with Maskwood Nexus is spicy. Okay, Sorin. Probably just going to instantly tick him up. Or down. Probably down. Okay. We can get rid of him if we draw into a Frostbite at any point. Opponent's finally dealing damage to us. But we're actually really close to just being able to kill our opponent out of nowhere. So I'm feeling fairly safe right now. Demon Bolt the Architect. Alrighty. Saw It Coming is an okay card here. We're going to Dual Strike Behold the Multiverse. Which... trying to do math. We need 9 lands if we want to instantly do Serpentine Curve, Dual Strike, Kazul's Fury. So this does mean we don't get to do that. We'd have to foretell a Dual Strike this turn. But that would mean we can't Dual Strike our Behold the Multiverse. So I think we just hold it back for a second. And then if our opponent tries to do something really scary, we can just Saw It Coming or Jwari Disruption. Okay. So maybe our opponent's just an Abzan mid-range deck that likes the graveyard. I just don't know why they'd have Old Rusting in their deck. Yep. Oh. Also, our opponent's deck is far more than 60 cards. So that's something else. I think this is just someone who built a deck of fun cards that they like. Okay, respect to Avatar the Third. And our opponent's getting in. I don't like that our opponent's gaining life. That's putting them further out of Serpentine Curve Fling range. Although I actually think we're going to grow Serpentine Curve Fling fast enough that that doesn't matter. What's our opponent got going on? They're saving up all their mana, so they've got something sneaky they want to do. Potentially on our turn. There's Kazul's Fury. Okay. Yeah, Kazul's Fury. We kill them next turn. Sure, we'll take both of those to guarantee we hit our land drop next turn. And to fill our graveyard, guarantee that our opponent can't gain enough life to survive this. Alright, dump that. Another consider. Okay. We've got all sorts of stuff to do this turn. First, I think we want to foretell Dual Strike, right? Yeah, we foretell Dual Strike. Actually, we should have just considered was the first thing we should have done. We consider. Another Kazul's Fury. Do we need another Kazul's Fury? I can't think of what our opponent can do to stop us. I think all we need is just deal as much damage as possible, so we're just going to fill our graveyard with spells. That's good. We can now Frostbite Sorin, or do we Frostbite Vampire? I think we Frostbite Vampire, actually. Frostbite the Vampire. Like, really, that's the only way I can see our opponent getting out of this. We never pass priority to our opponent with a creature on the battlefield. And if our opponent's in these colors, there's nothing they can do while Serpentine Curve is on the stack. Now we foretell Demon Bolt. And we leave up Jwari Disruption, which probably will do nothing, but if Jwari Disruption works when our opponent has 7 lands, that will be awesome. Alrighty. Sacking a blood token. They don't want the land that they got. Old Rusting might get them a treasure. Nope, okay, an insect. We are fine with that. We've got a lot of damage headed at our opponent's face. And they've got no way to protect themselves. This is looking good. Okay, Paths of the World Tree. Oh, their deck is just World Tree Maskwood Nexus combo. So if you guys don't know this combo, Maskwood Nexus affects even creature cards that aren't on the battlefield. And the World Tree, if this will go away, lets you put all of the God cards in your deck on the battlefield. So if you have Maskwood Nexus and the World Tree, you can put every single creature card in your deck onto the battlefield at once. How much mana do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. We have enough to go off. Just to bait if our opponent might have something. Like, there's no way they get out of this. We won last turn pretty handily. Our opponent just can't interact with what we're doing. It reminds me of Alrund's Epiphany in that regard, where it's just, as soon as your opponent starts going off with Alrund's Epiphany, the game's over. Okay. Serpentine Curve, Dual Strike, Kazul's Fury. We've got the full combo. Go into full control so we can Serpentine Curve, pay it. In response, we will play Dual Strike, cast this, auto pay, and then get out of full control because it's annoying. So now we've got a Serpentine Curve, and whatever spell we cast next is copied. And we Kazul's Fury, our opponent's face, sacrificing our Fractal. Dual Strike copies it, and that is 32 damage at our opponent's face. Good game. Oh, I love it. Yeah, there's no way out of this, opponent, unless you have like a random counter spell. Like, oh, they do have blue mana. Oh no, they have blue mana. I did not notice that. We should not have milled our Kazul's Fury. Okay, but we're good. We're good. I don't think they have a counter. Okay, yes. Let's go. Come on. Come on. I'm scared. They do have blue mana because of the World Tree. But this may just be the salty rope. If our opponent's salty roping, I count that as a victory. Just watching them, they're not happy. They can't interact. And this is why people hated the Alrund's Epiphany deck. We have pretty much the same feel of a deck where we just control the game, tempo, remove stuff, counter spells, and we don't actually have like hard removal if they get like a Toxrill onto the battlefield or something, but if we annoy them for long enough, Serpentine Curve gives us these massive creatures, and then we chuck them at our opponent's face, and you can't really do anything in response unless you're a blue deck. And so a quick note, if you are going to be playing this in best of 3, I suggest you stick 3 Seize the Storms in your sideboard. Seize the Storm is pretty much Serpentine Curve, except it has flashback. So it means you can just start chaining together Serpentine Curve after Serpentine Curve. And eventually you just get so much power with that a lot of control decks can't keep up with it. Because like every single one in a control mirror, they're like all going to be lethal threats. And our opponent takes the hit. Alrighty, I smell the comeback. Can we get the winning record? Game 5 coming right up. Game 5, playing Izzet Fling. It's time to see if we can get the winning record with a control deck without any rares or mythics. This hand looks good. Kazul's Fury, we usually want to draw that later, but we've got card draw and removal for early game. Dual Strike, one of the best cards in our deck. Yeah, this is good. You might even say it's great. Depends on what our opponent's doing, though. Okay, Plains, is this going to be white weenies? It looks like it's going to be white weenies. Okay. We'll just consider and Frostbite this turn, trying to dig for a Thalia. Thalia's annoying. I think we just spend the turn Frostbiting Thalia. Yeah, let's just get rid of Thalia. That is a very annoying card. And I'm sure white weenie decks are very happy to have it. Okay, Jwari Disruption, that guarantees we've got a decent land drop this turn. Yes, Crush the Weak. Like, Demon Bolt can hit Adaline, but Dual Strike Crush the Weak can also hit Adaline. And Crush the Weak hits a lot of stuff that our opponent could be doing. Put Demon Bolt into the library and exile. And nicely enough, we got an island so that we can consider this turn. So if our opponent plays Adaline, okay, just Sun Gold Sentinel. Still good, but yeah, we do need to Crush the Weak this turn. So we can clear up their board. And then we're going to be fairly vulnerable. Oh, one nice thing about Serpentine Curve is it does count cards in exile, so Graveyard Hate doesn't actually stop our deck at all. In fact, I don't think it does anything to our deck. We'll take the island. That seems good. Another Jwari Disruption, but we cannot let that Stonebinder's Familiar grow out of range, so we just got to sweep now. And this is looking good. This is looking like a control deck. I mean, we don't have anything going on in our hand. Oh, that's good. We don't have anything at all going on in our hand, which is very scary. But we do have Jwari Disruption now. We do have a lot of card draw in our deck. We just need to draw our card draw to get us out of this. And then once we reach Serpentine Curve, we're already at a point where a Serpentine Curve is hard for our opponent to deal with. I guess they're white. White has a lot of answers, actually. The more I think about it. Okay. Just an island. That's not great. We're going to start scrying Prismari Campus and the campus cycle in general. I think they're underrated. I think some control decks that aren't in Artisan should be running the campuses. Because, like, sure, spending 5 mana to scry is expensive, but sometimes you're just spending the turn holding up all your removal and your counter magic, and your opponent does nothing. Ooh, we've got this. Okay. Jwari Disruption. We will counter that. The opponent's going, I can pay for that, though. But can they pay for the second Jwari Disruption? We could have dual strike this Jwari Disruption, but at this point, if we draw a Serpentine Curve, we can triple fling it fairly easily at our opponent. Oh, that's good. That's super good. Okay. We are going to... Yeah, I guess we want Serpentine Curve in hand, for sure. We can't play Behold the Multiverse this turn. So we will play Kazul's Fury, which is nice because it's a red land drop. And then we can foretell Dual Strike. How much do we have here? Okay. If we Spike Field our opponent's face at the end of this turn. Oh, we don't have nearly enough lands. That is an issue. We can also just go the route of hope our opponent doesn't have removal and just make a bunch of Serpentine Curves. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. All right, that's going to speed up our opponent's clock considerably. We may just have to play Serpentine Curves for defensive reasons at this point. I mean, what are the odds our opponent has 3 removal spells? Pretty low, right? I mean, I guess they don't need 3 removal spells. And we do have 2 Kazul's Fury, which means we can just double chuck this next turn. I think that's our line. That's our only way to survive. Okay, Dual Strike. And Dual Strike. And make 3 11/11s? Can the opponent deal with it? 3 11/11 creatures. It looks like our opponent doesn't have instant speed removal right now. And we can double chuck on our turn, which means we don't even need to get in an attack. Okay, Portable Hold, that's a great answer for them. If they have a second removal spell, that's the game. They just have to all-out attack and we lose. Oh, yeah, that seals the deal. And that is why we try to do the whole combo in one turn. We just didn't get far enough on our lands. Portable Hole, all sorts of instant speed removal, sorcery speed removal, stuff that can just handle our fractals. Fractals, despite being 11/11s, they're pretty fragile. Alrighty, so we didn't get the winning record, but I was pretty happy with the deck, and so let's just do a quick review, talk about the deck, potential sideboard options, and then close this video up. Well, we didn't quite make the winning record this time, but the deck did perform fairly well. And as well, this is a control deck. And control decks, this could probably be better tuned for best of 1. We didn't really run into any sort of matchups where Crush the Weak was a dead card. So maybe we should move our 1 sideboard Crush the Weak to the main deck for best of 1. But this deck is a best of 3 deck. Because we've got our game plan is very hard to interact with. Because our game plan is just to disrupt our opponent's game plan until we can kill our opponent without really passing priority to them. And the deck has good burn and stuff. I noticed our matchup against White Weenies was pretty bad. I feel like something else we could do for the deck is add a couple more copies of Spike Field Hazard. As far as lands in general, I feel like we had the right number of lands. We didn't really run into too many issues with lands. So I'd maybe suggest like sticking 2 Spike Field Hazards, cutting a mountain, and then cutting something else, maybe a Consider. Consider didn't actually seem that good in this deck. That would probably be one of the first cards to go. Expressive Iteration, incredible card. Behold the Multiverse, really good with Dual Strike. And I thought about doing Unexpected Windfall because it's better when you Dual Strike it. But the issue was we really want to be beholding the Multiverse before we reach 5 mana, which is the earliest we can do the Dual Strike Unexpected Windfall. So I think Behold the Multiverse fits better with the deck. As well, with all our Foretell cards, we can really scare our opponent. Like if we've played a single Saw It Coming, and then we foretell a Behold the Multiverse, our opponent will be going, oh shoot, there's a Saw It Coming, and they'll try and play around the Saw It Coming. So having a lot of foretell cards is nice in the deck. Same thing with Crush the Weak. We foretell something, and they think, oh, they've got another Crush the Weak, and they play cautious. So that's really good for us. As far as the sideboard goes, I actually don't think we want Fading Hope. I would update this sideboard. I'd remove Fading Hope and probably throw in more Thundering Rebukes. Thundering Rebuke is a pretty good card. It removes Adeline, I don't know how to pronounce her. It removes just a couple of the harder to deal with threats for our deck. Abrade is good for this. Burning Hands is fantastic. We would bring that in for sure against Naya Runes. Negate is our plan for if you go against other control decks, along with Seize the Storm. If you add Seize the Storm to the deck, then all of a sudden you've got 7 Serpentine Curve effects, 3 of which have flashback, and at that point you have so many lethal threats potentially there, and Dual Strike gets around a lot of counter magic. So this deck actually has a really good matchup in the control mirror. So that is Izzet Fling. This deck also works well in Historic, so if you want to brew around it for Historic, or if you want me to, just let me know in the comments. I'd be willing to do a Historic Fling deck. But thank you for watching, and I hope you all enjoy playing Budget Magic.